the current residential real estate market in and around Salt Lake City. As we start to really move into 2025, we're seeing a pretty active market, relatively active market. And if this year, 2025, follows typical seasonal trends that honestly you can more or less set your watch to the direction of supply and demand metrics here locally along the Wasatch Front over the last couple of years. We're probably going to see the current declining trend in inventory supply week over week. We typically see less than the week before. We're probably going to see that trend continue through the next couple of months. Sometime in the next month or two, around March or April, we'll see those declines suddenly hit that inflection point and start to increase until the next, right around Halloween time to Thanksgiving, right in there, and then turn back the other way. Inventory declines this year, which we do typically see the declining trend on this half of the year, a bit slower than usual. Salt Lake County, a little bit over 2,100 active listings right now, historically on the low side, by recent trends of the last half decade, not so much. And of course, MLS wide, 9,400, 9,500 kind of units, so relatively historically low inventory, yeah, but there's plenty out there to choose from. You probably don't need me to tell you that. You probably see plenty of yard signs as you walk and drive around your neighborhood. On the demand side, that's where there's a lot of things that play into demand. It is not just one factor. It is not just what interest rates do dictates what people do, but mortgage interest rates are quite a factor in determining how much demand we are ultimately going to see. And it's kind of nice to see a flattening in those rates, and instead of the up and down inside of like half a point or more in relatively short time frames. Or for all you hardworking loan officers out there, I have great empathy for some of the lost sleep that I imagine you have as you're wondering when to lock those rates. I'm sure those are less than fun times over the last year when you see the up and down and the stress that comes from that. But moving forward, as we come into the spring, the stereotypes of people list their house in the spring, people buy their house in the spring, those are very real stereotypes. And they are there for a reason. Volume does tend to pick up a little bit. Like I mentioned, inventory levels are going to start coming up. There will be more to choose from. And of course, demand coming up in line with that as well. It will be a more active market. But you can count on that being the case. If you are having thoughts of selling and or buying a house, maybe both, a lot of people in your shoes there like to do that without having to move twice. Probably could be to your benefit to have a strategy session about what to do there on your timeline and what that execution would look like. And of course, what is working and what is not working in the current market. Because one feature of the current market is the massive variance in what different sellers and different buyers are getting. Like I just listed a house last week, gangbusters, multiple offers, far more so than, that was the highest demand listing I've had in the last couple of years. It was really kind of cool to see. And there's other stuff out there that sits on the market, extended days on market, price reductions, and some of them don't ultimately end up selling, hit the expired list, and then get a million calls from real estate agents the next day. Big variance in what we're seeing out there. But anyways, anything at all that I can do to help you would be deeply honored to do so. Do feel free to reach out. Thanks so much.